Guys, big breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Nuclear bomb map shows impact of US weapons on major cities. Now, you guys already know the US president just ordered nuclear weapons test immediately. At the same time, we have this breaking news that's coming out. Once again, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. How U.S. nuclear weapons compare to China, Russia, as U.S. president orders new test. All right, so we're going to see what's going on with this one here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Thank you again for your support, guys. So I just got home and I had an issue with my truck, my pickup truck. And so I had to go to the dealership. 6 long hours, almost 7 hours. I am tired. Man, I'm very tired, guys. This is my first video of the day. The U.S. president has announced that the U.S. will resume nuclear testing program, and Newsweek has mapped out what impact America's highest yield warhead deployed on a U.S. missile would have on several major cities. The U.S. has more nuclear equipment than any other country. Stop in the name of love. Here's the thing, guys. From what I heard, it seems like Russia has the most by 200. All right, so the U.S. supposedly has the most nuclear than any other country. Now, this was accomplished including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons. During my first term in office, the U.S. president wrote on Truth Social on Wednesday, because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second, and China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other country testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear on an equal basis, he said. That process will begin immediately. Now, that's coming out from the U.S. Commander-in-Chief. He said that yesterday. In other words, this is DEFCON warning. DEFCON warning. You know, when was the last time we tested nuclear? 33 years ago. So when you hear country testing nukes, you know something is wrong. There ain't no peace. Something is wrong. The signs are out there. Pay attention. The W-88 estimated to yield 455 kilotons of TNT explosives is one of the most powerful nuclear warheads in the U.S. arsenal and is carried on Trident II D5 submarine launched ballistic missile aboard the Navy's Ohio-class ballistic missile subs. Newsweek has broken down how Moscow, Beijing, London, New York, Los Angeles, Tokyo, and Paris will be affected if any of these cities were targeted by a W-88 exploding in an air burst, according to Nuke Map, a resource is created by Alex Wallenstein, a professor and historian of nuclear technology. It says here in Moscow, an estimated 507,500 people will pass, while 1,442,990 will be impacted in any 24 hours period. Nuke maps show. That's not good. So if we drop a nuke on the bear, that's how much the bear is going to lose. All them people. Fireball radius, inner yellow circle, in which everything will be vaporized by intense heat, rising to millions of degrees Fahrenheit, would reach 0.73 square miles. The heavy blast damage radius in a red circle, where heavily built concrete buildings will be severely damaged or demolished, and there will be 100% fatality, would extend to 3.95 square miles, while the radiation radius, green circle, where the radiation exposure will be fatal, with many passing, look at this, of cancer within a month of exposure, will be 5.73 square miles. This is crazy. That's the reason why you have the elites, the most powerful one, building bunkers. All right, so they're building stuff like that to stay away from all this radiation. The slightly moderate damage radius in a gray circle covering 20.9 square miles will see most residential buildings down like dominoes. And once again, a high risk of fire spreading and widespread death. This is the apocalyptic toys. This is the end time prophecy event. Anyone within 90.1 square miles of the thermal radiation radius, wider orange circle, will be at risk of suffering third degree, which are often painless because they destroy the pain nerves. These can cause severe scarring or disablement and may lead to amputations. Within the light blast damage radius, wider gray circle, 280 square miles from the blast, many injury can be caused to those who go to a window after seeing the flash of a nuclear explosion. All right, so this is Moscow. All that blue area will be basically everybody gone. Actually, no. I actually forgot about the again, you got the yellow, the red, the green, and the this other color here. But give me a second here. So if they drop a nuke in that area, that blue dot right there, many will pass away, and that's the capital. That is the capital. So here's the Red Dragon. The Red Dragon, well, 695,000 gone, 1.5 million injured. Fireball radius is 0.73 square miles. Heavy blast damage radius is 3.95 square miles. That's the Red Dragon alone. With radiation radius 5.73 square miles. And you guys see the rest. London, 225,000 gone, 202 impacted. Fireball radius is 0.73, so you guys get the picture here. New York. Ooh, New York is like the big one. 1.2 million gone. 1.4 million injured, so that's a big number there in New York. Los Angeles, 320,000 gone, 600,000 injured. Seems like New York is the big one. Out of all these cities, New York is the big one. Tokyo is 673,000 gone. 1.7 million injured. That's a big injury number right there compared to the death. Paris joined New York for the 1 million gone. 1.5 million injured. America's nuclear weapon stockpile. Here's a breakdown of American nuclear equipment according to the National Nuclear Security Administration most recent stockpile plan, November 2023. So these are the nuclear explosive carry on long-range missiles, either intercontinental, the ICBM launched from underground silos in the US, or submarine launched ballistic missiles. Bombs, aircraft platforms. These nuclear equipments can be carried by military aircraft, either gravity bombs dropped from bombers or tactical bombs that can be carried by dual capable fighters. These are the these are the stuff that we have. And boy, oh boy, we are moving backwards. We are basically living the 1950s Soviet versus the US. All right, so number one is the Bear. You see that? The Bear has 5.4 thousand. The US has 5.1 thousand. And then you got the Red Dragon, France, and then UK, India, Pakistan, the Holy Land, and North K. Let's see what's going on with this one here. How U.S. nuclear equipments compare to the Red Dragon, the Bear, as Donald orders new test. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing here. I'm just going to skip certain parts here, guys. The U.S. is immediately restarting nuclear weapons testing, the U.S. commander said. Now, because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear on an equal basis, the U.S. commander said in a post on his Truth Social platform on Wednesday. That process will begin immediately. It is not clear whether the U.S. Commander-in-Chief intends to test warheads or other parts of nuclear weapons, such as delivering system, nor which countries he believes are testing their own weapons. The U.S., the Bear, and the Red Dragon, the three countries with the largest nuclear, have not conducted full nuclear tests since the 1990s. North Korea is the only known exemption. Well, the U.S. last full test was in 1992, although different types of experiments have continued in a decade since. Now it says here, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief Administration, the U.S. Commander announcement came just before a highly anticipated meeting with the Red Dragon leader, but it did not appear to feature on the agenda of their first in-person discussion, this administration. The Republican has displayed a long-running disdain for nuclear and has supported non-proliferation. The U.S. commander said earlier this year that the Bear had agreed to unspecified nuclear limits and that the Red Dragon was willing to follow suit. The U.S. the Bear arms limitation agreement new start is due to expire in February. But the Bear has pushed forward with testing of weapons system able to carry nuclear weapons. Putin said on Wednesday that the country had tested the nuclear-capable Poseidon torpedo just days after the country also said its Burevestnik nuclear-powered cruise missile had covered roughly 8,700 miles in a 15-hour test flight. Now it says here, the Kremlin on Thursday said that Burevestnik and Poseidon tests did not count as nuclear. We hope that regarding the Burevestnik and Poseidon test, the information was properly communicated to the president, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry said after the U.S. commander announcement. The U.S. already tests its nuclear weapons in similar ways. All right, so things are not looking good. It seems like the Bear is sending a strong message to the U.S. commander about testing these nukes. In 1990, the 1996 Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty prohibited all nuclear test explosions. The U.S. signed the treaty but has not ratified it, while the Bear withdrew its ratification in 2023. But both sides would have to pull their signature if they no longer intend to observe the treaty. Leonid Slutsky, the chairman of Russia Parliamentary International Affairs Committee, said chaos would follow. When spoken of peace and safety, sudden destruction shall follow. All right. So once again, guys, so it says here will follow any resumption of U.S. nuclear warhead testing. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief officials reportedly discussed restarting nuclear tests during his previous administration after accusing the Bear and the Red Dragon of carrying out low-yield nuclear tests, which both countries denied. So this is basically where we are right now, guys. Once again, the Pentagon estimates from last year said that the Red Dragon, China, was on track to have more than 1,000 operational nuclear warheads by 2030. Although Western analysts say Beijing's stockpile would depend on how much plutonium, highly enriched uranium, and tritium it can access. That would be less than a third of what the U.S. and Russia each has, Christensen said. All right, so that's where we at right now, guys. That is where we at. We are seeing it, living it, and witnessing Bible prophecy of wars and rumors of wars. Nuclear is on the table now. I mean, again, it's nuclear talk left and right. This is a DEFCON warning. This is another step towards WW3. When you hear nations testing their stuff, obviously there's something wrong here. There's something wrong. It's common sense, guys. We have eyes to see and ears to hear. Something is about to hit the fan pretty soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.